Justice ExPEERience platform is an international network and a collaborative, ethical, and secure platform dedicated to promote justice and human rights. Justice and human rights are at the core of Avocats Sans Frontières identity. Avocats Sans Frontières is an international NGO working worldwide in different countries, mostly in Africa. Avocats Sans Frontières' mandate is to defend human rights and to promote access to justice through a wide range of activities, such as legal aid and legal empowerment activities, training lawyers and paralegals, monitoring human rights violations, and advocating for legal and political change through advocacy campaigns and strategic litigation. Through these actions, Avocats Sans Frontières aims to bring about political and social change in favor of a fairer society that protects everyone. Many of these actions are based on capacity building and training activities. But these training activities consist of a vertical way of spreading knowledge from a trainer or an expert to a group of trainees. Actually, this observation is strongly rooted in the way that project development works in the field of cooperation and development. In this field, projects tend to be designed and developed by coordinators who are not always the most concerned and connected to the field, and who are often people working from the north or in line with the donor's interests. But then the projects are implemented in the south with local partners. There is a division of labor according to which staffs and partners that will be implementing the projects in the south won't be included in the process of thinking and developing the projects. This observation raises concerns because this relationship of domination structures both the transmission of knowledge but also all the project development process. This domination is deeply rooted in a post-colonial logic. It also has a significant environmental impact. Moreover, it is not the most effective way to learn or to develop activities. So how can we do better? In recent years, Avocats Sans Frontières came to three findings. Firstly, people learn better by doing, especially by teaching others. Hence the idea of rethinking the approach, basing it on learning by doing and by transmission, and therefore on peer-to-peer learning. Secondly, projects are too often developed without the active participation of local actors. Local actors and the reality of the ground must be included in the project development process. We think it is necessary to reverse and decolonize the approach. Thirdly, working on the field of justice and human rights can be solitary and exhausting, hence the need for community support in this field. Avocats Sans Frontières is now focusing on communities of practice. Communities of practice are based on peer learning, knowledge sharing, and remote collaboration. Communities of practice also involve opening up skills and knowledge between different contexts and different fields of expertise, bringing together people from different backgrounds, building bridges between activists, civil society, academics, NGOs, and legal practitioners. Communities of practice also means creating more collaborations, especially long-term collaborations. Finally, they can be used to look beyond project deadlines. Thanks to the logic of community of practice, we have seen that peer learning and coalition do not only improve learning and transmission, reduce domination and inequalities between actors, but also strengthen partnerships and collaboration over time. How can an international community of practice be created? An international community of practice can be useful to carry out transnational analysis, collective strategic litigation, or transnational advocacy campaigns. But then collaboration becomes too complicated when engaging different types of actors in the process and from different countries. We've been figuring this out for the last few years, while at the same time facing as everyone the pandemic and its consequences, as well as the environmental crisis. So we had to adapt. Justice ExPEERience is a direct result of this process, with the idea of creating a digital and ethical space for transnational peer-to-peer learning and collaboration in the field of human rights. Justice ExPEERience is an international network where members can share news and information, store documentation, collaborate on live documents, both in open collaborative spaces and in confidential spaces. People can connect to activists, academics, NGO staff, civil society actors, consultants from all over the world, and still understand each other thanks to an automatic translation tool. Justice ExPEERience acts both as a social network with thematic news feeds and as a shared content library with live collaborative documents. It has been developed using open source software from Algo, a French startup, and it is hosted sovereignly on our own servers in Europe. Here is an example of the work carried out by a community of practice bringing together Congolese lawyers to conduct strategic litigation concerning human rights in detention in the DRC. It started in 2019 with a collaborative workshop on the identification of issues and levels of change on detention in different countries. Following this workshop, Congolese lawyers and civil society decided with Avocats Sans Frontières to begin a litigation against the state of the DRC regarding arbitrary detention and inhumane condition of detention. These actors identified a need for learning, as strategic litigation is not a common practice in African contexts. Capacity building workshops were therefore held in 2020. They led to the collective drafting of a practical guide to African detention law, which can be useful and used by any other legal practitioner in any African country. Then, online peer-to-peer knowledge sharing was developed, first on Slack and then on Justice ExPEERience, in order to identify strategic litigation cases and provide input for submitting cases to the court. Finally, in September 2020, this process was completed and 6 appeals were submitted at the same time on the same grounds in different provinces. Through the work of this community of practice, we have seen the main functionalities and possibilities that Justice ExPEERience offers its members. But we believe that working for human rights is first and foremost about working with people for people. It's not about tools, devices, softwares which are just here to connect people. That's why Justice ExPEERience is really dedicated to peer learning, knowledge sharing, and remote collaboration in communities of practice, bringing together different kinds of people working towards the promotion of human rights. So what are the next steps for Justice ExPEERience? Today, Justice ExPEERience is more than 500 members from all continents, more than 20 open collaboration spaces and 100 confidential workspaces. It's also a mobile application. Transnational communities of practice are also being developed and are working, for instance, on transnational advocacy campaigns and strategic litigation. Justice ExPEERience also has its own monthly newsletter and a webinar. Justice ExPEERience is now available in French, English, Spanish, German, Portuguese, and Arabic. Over the next few years, we will be working on the following challenges: how to engage horizontal communities, how to showcase the work of communities of practice, how to overcome inequalities in access to the internet and technology, and finally, how to create a more inclusive digital environment. For more information, visit our website and send an email to the address displayed. Thank you for watching this video. We hope to see you soon at Justice ExPEERience.